All of the funny clips, save them.
And put them at the end whenever.
Save them. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. Is it rolling or no?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
We're rolling.
Down the river, we never do anything nice and easy.
So, I am William Black, associate producer of Black Petunia, and we will be interviewing Zune, or Erica Shantel Carter.
Hello, everyone.
And I guess we'll just get started. So, Erica, where are you from?
I'm a native Detroiter. I am from Southwest Detroit. Past Shaper. A lot of people think Southwest Detroit is Mexican Village area, but past Shaper, which we call Downriver.
So, how did you get involved with Black Petunia?
I was approached by Crystal Starr. She called me up. She was like, "Hey, Moon," because everyone calls me Moon, because my name as a singer and performer and everything else is Moon One Love. And she's like, "Listen, I have this great role for you. You need to see the script. I think it's perfect for you. Can you meet me?" And I trusted her judgment on everything, and I went on ahead and met her at Whole Foods with Spencer. She said, "I'm going to have the writer and the director of this film, Black Petunia." She said, "It's going to be an independent film, but this is something that could be really huge. And this role is just, it was written for you."
So what about the script drew you in?
What drew me in the most is the fact that there's this storyline about the water in Detroit and how it's being treated, and how we here in Michigan and Detroit specifically have the best water in the world. The character itself drew me totally in because it's like I could become this character. There are parts of my life where I've had to be this character. So her storyline really appealed to me on so many levels. It was myriad for me. I can't just say just one thing, but being a native Detroiter, it really just punctuated my heart that I needed to be a part of this.
So the plot of Black Petunia has a strong connection with Flint, with the water crisis receiving global attention just as we wrapped up the film. Mm-hmm. And so what are your thoughts regarding that topic?
Well, my heart goes out to the residents of Flint, absolutely. And it struck a chord with me because when I was 12 years old, I was having major issues in my mother's household and had considered moving to Flint with my Uncle Charles. And even went up there and everything. And I could have been a Flint native, a Flint resident. And the fact that Spencer King wrote something about what could happen or what is happening with the water, and then we have this controversial crime against humanity happen in Flint. It just was amazing that something could be written as a prelude to something that did happen, and it was something avoidable. And talking to Spencer, I said to him, "Do you understand what you've tapped into?" And now this awareness is being brought upon Flint, which I don't think enough is being done, quite honestly, for God's sake. They just need to just make it, just have the residents evacuated and give them the proper respect that they deserve for their loss of their house and things like this, because this isn't just poisoning for now, it's generational.
So what was or still is your line of work previous to Black Petunia?
Well, being fabulous. Now, I'm a cosmetologist, and I really only work Fridays and Saturdays now, because working full time, 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, and when you are an in-demand stylist, those days can be 12 to 16-hour working days. I decided to dwindle my days down because I also produce music, and I'm also a songwriter and a performer. I wanted to loan my life, the rest of my life, to the arts. Singing, writing, performing, producing, directing as well.
And so you play Zune in the film, a woman native to Detroit. Mm-hmm. And as a member of the transgender community, how did it feel to be casted the role of a powerful woman?
Well, that's the thing I said to Spencer, because you all didn't know that about me in the cast. You all didn't know that about me until midway into production, and when I revealed that and spoke on that. So I wasn't cast as a transgender woman playing a cisgender woman. I was just cast as a woman playing a woman. And when I revealed that comfortably to the cast and crew, I told Spencer that that would be the X factor and breakthrough in entertainment. And just to touch on that subject, I do not care for the word transgender nor transsexual. I don't feel disrespected when someone says transgender or transsexual, because that's what they know and that's the box that they put in. It's like people say sugar, salt, black, white. People have to be able to label things to get an understanding. However, it's like I did a breakdown for my sister who's a doctor. I said, there are species of birds that don't have wings. There are species of birds that don't have feathers. There are species of birds that do not fly. However, they're all birds. I'm a woman, I'm a female, and I choose to be a lady most of the time. However, this does loan myself to speak for the trans community, because there are people who are so okay with being called transgender, transsexual. Transgender doesn't offend me so much as transsexual, because we live in this puritanical, westernized culture here in America where you put the word sex to anything and it demonizes, or it means aberrant or deviant behavior. And until people understand that people are just who they are in the heart and soul of who they are, we're getting to get a place of understanding. And right now everything is trans friendly and trans this and all this epic awareness. It's always been here since the dawn of time. How about the ultimate sex, which is who I am. I'm the avatar of you all. Don't edit that out.
And so, how has Detroit, social issues, and people involved impacted you in this film?
Well, William, I want to say these things, choose my words wisely. Detroit is going through a metamorphosis. I've been living downtown for 15 years, and there's claims of gentrification and things of that nature. Being a person, first of all, I am a woman of color who happens to be a woman of many colors. So, I'm bleached hair today, but nonetheless, I'm a black woman. But I'm Native American, Indian from India, and Irish and black. So I'm all of these things. And being a native Detroiter, I saw this film, reading the script, and I thought, oh my God, Spencer must be from another planet. Well, he's some little surfer dude, looks like he's Brad Pitt and Matthew McConaughey's dreamy brother. I can just imagine him with a surfboard. But anyway, this young white man comes to Detroit with this fabulous script, and I just felt that I had to be a part of this because it would be impacting. It is impacting. We finished shooting in February. If I cry, don't edit it, I'm not embarrassed. I just feel that this was something that Detroit needs to wake up. I grew up, my mother and my father both had gardens. I'm very much in touch with my spiritual self and with the earth, and how Detroit is going through this reformation where you're going to see a lot more farming. And when I was a kid, and being a woman who's 50 and happy to say I'm 50 because I feel great, we had markets where it was fresh fish and fresh produce. This really touches on the fact that the character Zune, as much as she's into special ops defense for the government, which she worked for, and being this very tough militant character who could kill someone on the spot, but she's also a naturalist. That is at the heart and soul of her, and it just speaks volume of what a person can be on so many different levels. I can be very materialistic, but at the same time, I have a balance with wanting to, breathe in clean air and wanting to hear the birds chirping happily and putting my feet on the ground. This whole experience opened me up to a lot of things. I've had a lot of people say over the years, well, Erica, why don't you go to New York or go to Atlanta, or go to LA, for the acting and entertainment. And I said, well, entertainment is coming to Detroit. And I had someone who's a minister, and one day she did this stirring reading over me. Her name is Bridget. And Bridget is someone whom I love dearly, and she's a very down-to-earth person, and she's been through so much in her life, so she can profess a certain ministry. I'm not a religious person, but I respect people when they have respect for their faith, and that their faith is making them a better person, and a peaceful person, and loving person. And one day she came to me, and she just prophesied over me. She said, Erica, you don't have to worry about going to Hollywood. Hollywood is coming to you. And she just started crying, and she started saying to me, probably one of the most beautiful moments of my life, and I'm going to tell her about this interview because I mentioned her, is she said, people don't understand who you are and what you are, but that's why they're attracted to you, because you represent everything that God is, Yahweh, the feminine and the masculine. Don't people know that you are God in the flesh, in the ultimate way? And I kind of cried because that's a big notion, but religious texts do suggest that God is embodied or housed within you. So this script, this coming to me, impacted me in many ways, but it came as a responsibility. It became a social movement within myself, reawakened. And the most impacting thing for me was discovering you all, Brianna Phillips, yourself, William Black, Spencer King, Tobin with the most fabulous hair. This man has the most fabulous hair I've ever seen. Oh my God. Are you all going to put him in the footage?
Yes. Yes.
He has to have Pantene moments. But,
yes. We're going to have a whole L'Oreal campaign for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And my favorite, Josh. Oh, he's so fine. If he could be 25 years older and a foot and a half taller, you'll see him, you'll understand. Anyway, I became family with you all. And to know that you all were earnest. This is what I live by, William. I'm going to look directly in the camera when I say that. I live by the 3 P's. Provocative. I want to be involved in things that are provocative, that provoke thought. Profound. I want to be involved in things that have a profound meaning. And I want to be involved in things that are prolific. Things that yield something great. If those things don't have the 3 P's for me, that's my spirituality. That's my tenet. That's what this held for me. That this would be the 3 P's for Detroit.
So, what was your first impression of Spencer King, and how do you view him now afterwards?
He's beautiful. That was the beginning. Now it's 2 words. Beautifully conflicted. Why? Beautiful when you meet Spencer. First of all, Spencer's gorgeous. There was his vulnerability. His soul was open. And when he met me, he's like, you're perfect for this character. Oh my goodness. And I read some of the script right there at Whole Foods. Whole Foods. Who knew? Mm-hmm. You can go get the ultimate smoothie at Whole Foods and you read the script and get cast. Is this organic coffee from Whole Foods?
It's not.
Okay. That's
a little pricier.
So the thing about it is, with Spencer, my first time meeting him, I just felt the beauty of who he is and how he's very earnest in what he's done. He was very open after meeting me, and he was impressed with, trusting Crystal Star's recommendation of me, because I've done projects with Crystal Star before, some amazing projects. She's amazing herself. Hey, Crystal Star, shout out to her. That being said, he said, well, there are some parts in the movie, in the script, that I would like to work with, write with you, because I talked about nature and healthy eating and being a native Detroiter, and he liked what I had to say. So beautifully conflicted throughout the process. He was just being this humble person, and I just said, listen, you brought greatness here. You came to Detroit with something fabulous. You're here creating commerce. You're employing people. You're here creating, thought and creativity. You brought a gift to Detroit. I'm thankful. And he's just conflicted about that because he doesn't want this notoriety. And I'm like, listen, can I use a curse word? I said, listen, motherfucker, listen. your Spielberg success song. Get your Michael Bay on. Are you fucking kidding me? You've written something that is star-turning roles for people in this film. And not just for me. This is a star-turning role for me. Star-turning role for Corey. Star-turning role for Brianna Phillips. These characters can go on and on and on. I kept pushing Netflix series, HBO series, movie 1, 2, and 3, but one step at a time. And I just told him this was just magnificent, and he just really wants to just stay humble. Well, we're gonna keep his fucking ass humble. Mm-hmm. We're gonna keep him in check, and he's conflicted like that. But he's like a lot of great artists. They're very humbled by the gift that they have. Mm-hmm. So he's beautifully conflicted, and hopefully I can bully him into being a little arrogant or something. I want that.
What were some of the craziest moments during filming?
Oh my goodness. The whole experience was magical, and it was challenging. The fact that Spencer opened himself up to suggestion, and that along the way he had to recast, and it was done brilliantly and beautifully, and he listened to what I had to suggest, which impresses me more than anything, is that he listened to the people that are Detroiters, Brianna Phillips and myself. And the fact that he needed locations. And what stuck out to me the most was, you have to come see my apartment. I think it would be wonderful for this movie. So to have the whole film crew come to my place, to where I live. My place is a fixer-upper, and that I didn't fix her upper, so it looks very, you'll see in the movie. And then to have people in my bed, strangers, it was amazing. Yes. But I think the most chilling, literally, was the scene with Corey, and we're outside for about 3 hours, and you would look up to the sky, and it's in the morning. It's bright, it's beautifully bright, but there's no sunlight because it was a blanket of snow continually. And that day, I left from shooting, and it was such an amazing experience. But I was cold for 2.5 days to the marrow of my bones. And I was like, oh, The Revenant. DiCaprio could do it, I could do it, Detroit style. Mm-hmm. Wow, but it was amazing. So I can't just say one thing, but it was, I would say, shooting in my apartment, and just the whole thing. I can go on and on.
And so, where do you see yourself and Black Petunia in the future?
Well, first of all, first of all, if Spencer's gonna listen to me, if Spencer listens to me, Zune, who went from being part of the government and doing special ops and for defense and things like that, who's now running this underground revolution militant group to actually save Detroit from the elites that are moving here. It's like a supernatural sense of only the haves could be here, and she's fighting for all and not just the have-nots. I see Zune being this strong leader who basically saves the day. And though she has this hard exterior, you will see later in the television series or the ongoing movies, the soul of her and why she loves James, but loves James as a son with a, what do you call it? What do you call that type of love? When you love someone, but you're you don't get too close because she's just very much has to be like this with him, very linear. But she can't be too hard on him because he basically can't take that. So Zune's character, myself, I became Zune because there were so many things that Zune represents in me, and that maternal spirit but doing it in a way that's I don't want to say harsh, but bold.
Okay.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, I see Zune as taking over, and I don't need no co-stars.
Just
She gets her own series.
like a documentary.
Right? No, she gets her own series.
And so, who do you see investing in this film, if any?
I would like for everyone to approach Dan Gilbert. He has the money, and he's, for all things Detroit, great. And I believe he would be great, could get behind this, and I say it again and again, not just behind the film, but the television series. And the reason I say television series, because native Detroiters are cast. All the talent is from Detroit. And that would create commerce, that would create opportunities for Detroit to be on a world platform and show all the greatness of Detroit, not the depravity of Detroit. How Detroit is coming back. I mean, people understand this is the Motor City. You had Motown, the music. This was the place for fur trade in the beginning, and then became the automotive industry. The world is moving, literally, because of Detroit. So there are so many things great here. It didn't leave. It's just a resurgence. So Dan Gilbert and maybe even Oprah. Let's see if I can talk to her.
Right.
Maybe Beyonce and Jay-Z, because they came here for Flint.
Right.
Jay-Z has an initiative for clean water around the world, so we need to get busy. Plus, I'm tired of eating crackers and sardines.
Yes.
I want filet mignon.
We want whole foods.
A vegetarian says that.
And so this is our final question, and it's a very popular one lately. And for all you astronomers, what's your astrological sign?
Well, my astrological sign happens to be the greatest sign.
Uh-oh.
And when I tell you so, there's no doubt about it. I am a Gemini.
Ooh.
And why is Gemini the greatest sign of all? I'm going to get very metaphysical with you, theosophical with you, and I'm just going to be flat out hood too. Listen, Gemini is an air sign. The sun is a star, living, bubble of gas of hydrogen clouds. Water is H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 2 parts oxygen. Are you following me? Okay. So we need the sun to live, right? Because the sun pulsates. And at the very core of the earth is iron. Right, cameraman? Are you following me? Absolutely. Okay. So I'm an air sign. Everything carbon-based has to have air. If you don't have air, you die. Okay? So water is a living thing. We are 90%, 85, 75, depending on your body index, comprised of water. Okay? So, this is what the air sign can do. For all you fire signs, you cannot breathe without air. You need air to spark. You need air to flourish. But air can also snuff you out. Okay? For all of you water signs, I am half of what you are. I can quell a storm, or I can push a tsunami. Okay? So you can't be anything without why? Gemini. So also for all you earth signs, the earth, well, that's good. But you need me to breathe. Breathe and breathe. You need me to breathe. So therefore, Gemini, greatest sign ever.
All right. Well,
the queen has spoke.
That was our last question. Do you have any outro?
Well, my outro will be, I love your haircut, by the way, Lily.
Thank you.
You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Oh, there goes the
My outro is, to the cast and crew of Black Petunia, I want to say thank you for the experience. I feel truly blessed by the universe. I believe that this will be a blessing to Detroit and to the world, because this film touches on so many layers about the human soul and how we strive to be in a place where we're all are able to be accepting of one another, not just tolerant, accepting and respectful of one another. And this movie goes beyond all the boundaries of race, religion, sexism, ageism, all of that. So it touched on so many levels. But I'm very thankful for the cast and production, because I got to work with young people that were 19, 20, 21, 23, all this young talent. I didn't feel old at all. I felt revived. I felt rejuvenated. And I felt like, wow, this generation is going to be so potent and powerful. Because the media would have us to look at this generation in such a stereotypical way, like it's a wasteland. And to see there's so much beauty in the world in the prospect of your generation, it just made my heart just go, wow. And that was such a rewarding experience. And I became family with the cast and crew. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. So I want to say to the cast and crew of Black Petunia, thank you for the blessing. And I want to say to the world, receive the blessing of Black Petunia.
Well, thank you so much, Erica. I'm gonna give you a hug because
Your fanny
we're like,
pack?
yes, my fanny pack is always on.
You aren't Richard Simmons' lost child, are you?
Yeah, I mean,
You got the hair, you got the volleyball shorts.
Yes.